Hey guys, welcome back to the Way of Truth Tarot. My name is Mandy. For those of you who are just joining us, this is number 16 in the Jonbenet Ramsey investigation. And today we are looking into the childhood of Burke Ramsey. I've gone through John Ramsey's older children. I started with Beth and worked my way down with Melinda, John Andrew. Now we're at Burke. And then next will be, of course, Jonbenet. And for those of you who are really liking the Jonbenet Ramsey videos, they will obviously still continue. I have stumbled across another true crime channel, and I posted the video on my community page, and I really think you guys should watch it because it lines up with my readings and my theory on what happened. And after I'm done with Jonbenet, I'm going to be doing another video into all of that. So I just wanted to let you guys know that go over to my posts on my YouTube channel and you will see the link, like the video that I posted that I really want you guys to watch. Because I'm going to be investigating the points in that video compared to my theory and see what happens. So just wanted to get that out there. So I'm going to be using tarot, missing variables deck, Whispers of the Unsolved True Crime Oracle, tokens for extra clarification. Everything said in this video is alleged, in my opinion, based on the energy and the card meanings, not facts. So let's get started. All right. I just need a sip of water. I'm super thirsty. Let's get started. Okay, so first row is going to be Burke from being born to 6 years old. And we're going to see what that was like. Four cards representing the first 6 years of Burke Ramsey's life. We have the Three of Cups. We have the Page of Cups in reverse. We have the Empress in reverse. And we have the Four of Wands in reverse. Okay, and wow. I say this because they're all in reverse. Not all of them, sorry. The first one's not, but The Empress is in reverse. This card represents motherhood. It represents divine feminine energy. It represents like I was really expecting this to be upright, because you can see she's pregnant. And then the Four of Wands in reverse is not feeling welcome in your home. It's instability. The Four of Wands upright is a happy home. It's feeling welcome in your home. It's your home being your place of sanctuary and stability and belonging, and it was in reverse. The Page of Cups is neglecting an inner child. However, an emotional immaturity. Escapism. And then we have the Three of Cups upright. This is celebrations, okay? A circle of support and celebrating something. Celebrating something emotional. And this row is representing birth from 0 to 6 years old. So, this card I'm feeling was like when Patsy first got pregnant, okay? There was celebration. But then that all changes. Do you know what I'm feeling with this? I'm feeling like either something happened between this card and this card to make the energy change from upright to reversed. So this is her getting pregnant. And this is his birth. You know, I'm feeling, and it's weird that I'm feeling this, but I am, that perhaps they were disappointed with the sex of the child. I don't know why I'm feeling that, but I am. I'm not sure if it was both parents or just one. I don't know. And so we're just going to set that aside for now. And the Four of Wands in reverse is conflict with others, like in the household. Okay, let's get from 6 to 12. Six to 12. The Devil in reverse came out. So the Devil in reverse is about leaving an abusive or toxic situation. Okay, so, okay, actually, I'm just going to wait until I get the whole row before I speak. The Hermit in reverse. Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Eight of Wands upright. Excuse me. Okay. Freezing. Like I said, Devil in reverse is leaving a toxic situation or being released from some sort of, like something had a grasp on you or was holding you back in some way, and then it's released. Hermit in reverse is isolation and loneliness and repeating past mistakes. So this is making me feel this is representing Burke's behavior issues and why he was acting out. Because he was withdrawn and lonely and he felt rejected. So he repeated behavior that was not good. And we all know that from the fecal matter that he spread on Jonbenet's stuff and just behavior like that. Then we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. And this is the dark side of wealth. Seriously. This is deep family conflicts and the dark side of money. And then the Eight of Wands is immediate action. It is fast communication. Something sudden happened. So this is what I'm feeling with these cards, okay? He's born, well, Patsy gets pregnant. She's thrilled that she's pregnant. But between that and the birth, something changes. And neglect happens. And I don't mean like neglect in some drastic sense, but there's a disconnect between the child and the mother of some kind. And this could even be stuff that she felt internally and didn't show it, or was, something like that. And the Empress in reverse is also smothering. Being very overbearing. And not giving that nurturing love that you need to give to a child. And that was giving him feelings of being unwelcome in his family, in his home. Okay, then it changes. Then we get the devil in reverse. And then that's like, it's recovery from that. It's moving on from that. I believe this was when Jonbenet was born. They now had the child, the female that they needed. Or wanted. No, needed. I'm going to stick with that word. And I think it will make sense later on. So Jonbenet is born, and this is when Burke feels extremely isolated and lonely, and he starts acting out. The Ten of Pentacles in reverse is, like I said, the dark side of wealth. And it's a loss of investment. I'm feeling, and with the Eight of Wands, this is the time that Jonbenet passed. Deep family conflicts, the dark side of wealth, a loss of investment. Jonbenet was their investment. It's gone. They're no longer able to keep the tradition, the sick tradition, and immediate action and change happens. Okay, gonna work with a full deck. Just give me 1 sec. Alrighty. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to just pull some of the whispers before I start the new tarot row. All right, give me some whispers that can confirm or add to those other rows, those first 2 rows. Travel. Accident. And if you guys have watched, I know most of you have, but for those of you who have not watched my other Jonbenet Ramsey videos, I believe that the intention was never to kill her. That was never the intention. It was an accident in a very loose sense of the word, but not an innocent accident, but my point is they didn't intend to kill her. They definitely intended to do terrible things to her, but death was not part of the plan. And that, I believe, is what this card is representing. Military operation. So strategic maneuvers that came after the accident. And Burke was there for all of it. Oh my God. And it was under travel. I need more context to that card. I'm going to pull another one of these. Okay, so change of plans. Okay, change of plans. Thief. This was underneath the accident. This is telling me that he was there for all of it. Okay, do you see how this guy's listening in? Like he's peering through a doorway. This kind of is reminding me of a little kid listening in on their parents speak about this accident. This is making me feel like we were supposed to move her body out, move it out, right? And change of plans happened. Something happened and they did not move her body out. Burke saw it all. And the thief card, it's like he was listening in on the plan of the intruder theory. Like, you know, we're going to make it seem like a kidnapping kind of thing. And danger came out on its side. So it's like, you have nothing to worry about, even though you should be worried and anybody would be worried, but you don't have to be worried about it. That's kind of what I'm feeling with that. And the reason why he didn't have to be worried about it was because he was not useful to them in the sick way that Jonbenet was. Allegedly my opinion. So, I'll put these back in and we'll do the tarot. I'm going to actually pull missing variables. Can you give me one card that represents Burke in this situation, please? We got 2 cards. Okay. We have the 2 of spades. Betrayal in the ranks. A partnership fractured by deception. So, a partnership under pressure. Betrayal by someone trusted. Conflicting accounts muddy the truth. Tension between loyalty and duty. Hidden connections between unlikely players. And the balance of power begins to shift. And the next one is in reverse. Okay, so it's like grief and anger fuel the search for justice. The bittersweet intersection of hope and despair. The emotional toll of the case comes to light, but it was in reverse. So this is like, I'm feeling like the grief and anger fuel for justice. That's why it was in reverse. And that's kind of what this card is pointing to, is that specific line. And it was in reverse. Because it wasn't fueling any search for truth, because they already knew the truth. They were trying to cover up the truth. Allegedly, my opinion. All right. Give me one card that represents Patsy, one card that represents Burke, and then one card which is the energy between them. So one card for Patsy. Okay, so we have the Page of Swords. This is somebody who's very chatty. And that has a lot of mental agility. Also a card of vigilancy. So now one card representing Burke. We have the 6 of Cups, and this is representing his childhood or the past. Now, one card between them. We have the Knight of Wands in reverse, and this is about hot temper, frustrations, and a lack of self-control. So that is the energy between mother and son. Not really surprised there, to be honest with you. Let's get a card for John Ramsey and Burke, and then the energy between. Right. So one card that represents John Ramsey. Okay, we have 2 cards that came out for John Ramsey. We have the 10 of Pentacles upright, which is about family dynasty, privilege and affluence, and inheritance, that kind of energy. And then we have death. And this is about transitions, big changes, and time to move on. Let's get a card for Burke. 5 of Wands. Conflict, disagreements and tension, clash of egos. And the card that represents the energy between them. Hangman in reverse. This is about selfishness. It's about delays, disinterest, avoiding sacrifice, that kind of energy. Needless to say, that boy felt really unloved by his parents. Allegedly, my opinion. I'm just going to ask this because I think everybody is wondering. I mean, did Burke see anything that night? Did he participate in anything that night? I'm just going to say it because I know a lot of people are wondering that. And there's been allegations that he was the one that did that to Jonbenet. I don't believe he was, not with what I've already uncovered. However, I'm going to ask anyway. Did Burke Ramsey have anything to do in any way, shape, or form with Jonbenet's death? No. We've got the Hermit upright this time. But that incident caused him to withdraw and caused him to feel even more alone than he already did. Anything else? Anything else? We have the Nine of Swords in reverse, which is learning to cope. and healing. So, no, I don't believe he did have anything to do with it. But I do think that her death sparked some sort of soul searching for him at such a young age. And he learned to cope with it. Allegedly, my opinion. So I'm really feeling with Burke, like, what's interesting is with John's older children, there was a big focus on getting them into activities and like kind of making them get into the habit of making something of themselves, right? Like getting them involved in a lot of things. And like, yeah, Burke had his involvement, like his extracurricular stuff. But the focus on greatness wasn't the way it was with John Andrew or Beth or Melinda. The expectations were not on Burke the way they were on all the other children, which is very interesting. I almost feel like Burke was given everything he wanted, but that was it. It's like it's almost like they didn't have faith in that he could be anything. So they just didn't really try that hard. My opinion. Why was he treated so differently? Five of Wands again. Diversity. Tension. Judgment. And the Page of Pentacles, which is like goal-oriented, manifesting your life. They judged him on the fact that he was different. I do believe that he's kind of on the spectrum somewhere in a very mild form, but you know, he's different. And you can tell that, like when he speaks and stuff, like you can tell he's a bit different. And I think that they judged him over that. Absolutely, they judged him over that. And it's like, they're like, oh yeah, he doesn't have what it takes to whatever. So we're just, we're stuck with him. So we're just going to, give him whatever he wants. So it looks on the outside that everything's fine. But we're not going to invest the way we have with our other children. And the way they treated Jonbenet was so different than Burke. So it's not like John Ramsey's older children were treated differently than his younger children. That's not the case, because Jonbenet was the youngest. And she was given all of the hope and encouragement and whatever. But it's because, allegedly my opinion, she was an asset to them in a lot of other ways. Burke was just a normal kid. They didn't want a normal kid. Allegedly my opinion. Okay. So this is it for the Burke Ramsey one. Next up will be Jonbenet. So there's going to be more JBR videos to come in the very near future, so stay tuned for that. If you guys are enjoying my content and you haven't subscribed already, please do so. They're free, and it just helps my channel grow, and I'd be very appreciative for that. That being said, thank you to everybody who is supportive and who is watching my videos. Like, even if you're not subscribed, you're still watching them, and I really appreciate that. But if you like them, show that you like them. And you can do that by subscribing and giving a like or sharing or doing all of the above. So, thank you so, so much, and I will see you in the next video.